everyone, I'm Emerald Mosaic. I've been putting off doing this video because I know this is going to be challenging. I want to read a series of, I think it's 5 or 6 poems that I wrote, some of them as my wife was dying, and a few that I wrote afterwards. Kind of want to take you on this journey with me. In a way, this is kind of a story about Natalie, but it's more so about me and how I processed the fact that I was losing her, and then the fact that I had lost her. And so while I could tack this onto stories about Natalie, it is poetry, and it's not really about her. So this belongs in the poetry playlist. So the first poem was written on August 26th of 2018. This was 4 days before she passed away, and it's titled Acceptance. I finally understand acceptance. As my wife, my heart, my joy, my companion, lies unaware in the other bed. One machine breathing for her, another filtering her blood. And my dearest desire is not for her to stay with me, but rather for her to be free. That one was, that moment was really hard, because I was realizing that even if the doctors could save her, she was not going to do well. Her liver had already gone into failure, and she was on the liver transplant list, but those are very sick patients, and most of them don't make it before they get a liver. Also, I had recognized that the circulation in her feet was starting to shut down, and I didn't want that kind of life for her. That would have been, she'd already suffered enough. I told the doctors from the very beginning, she has suffered enough. I don't want her to suffer. If it means that she lives but she suffers, I don't want that for her. I want her to be well, or just let her go. So the following day, I wrote, Staring at Death. I'm staring at death, waiting for my beloved to slip from my arms and fold herself into his. I'm staring at death, knowing beyond doubt that soon he will take her to a place I cannot go. I'm staring at death, courage rooted in love, steadied by acceptance. I'll bend, but not break. I'm staring at death, heart quailing in fear of the gaping hole of her absence. But I'm staring at death, not looking away. I take a deep breath and wait for her last. I knew I was going to cry. That's why I didn't want to do this. How do you walk through that, knowing that there's no other way this is going to end? It requires so much courage to face it. And I knew that once she was gone, it was going to be hell. And I wasn't ready for it. You're never ready. You're never ready to let go. And that led to the next poem on the 28th. I wrote The Selfishness of Grief. Yes, I'm angry that she's dying. Sure, I rail at silent skies. My acceptance of her passing doesn't mean my eyes are dry. I still bear guilt for the wish that was already done, that I didn't have to sit here waiting for her to be gone. So I'm angry at myself for the selfishness of grief, and it sucks to know the end of waiting will not bring relief. Because when you know it's going to end, there's only one way for this to go. You want to get it over with. And yet you also know that's just the beginning of the next stage of the journey, which is maybe even worse. It wasn't until the day after she died that I wrote another poem. And I found just a weird moment where I had gone back home to my cat, and I had had somebody feed him and give him water for while I was gone. I was away for 2 weeks while she was dying. I was away for almost 2 weeks. And so yeah, there was this weird moment that my cat didn't know where she was, and he didn't know any different. He knew I was upset, but he didn't know why. He knew that she was gone, but he didn't know that she was gone. And I was playing with him because he still needed to play. And I found myself laughing. And I was like, how can I laugh when she just died? How is this possible when 2 days ago she passed away? Like, how is that even possible? It shouldn't be. And so I wrote a poem called Grief Knows. I have lost hold of the emotions of grief. I remember 2 days ago when the nurses gently removed all of the tubes from my wife's body. I remember sitting beside her, saying a tearful goodbye, singing, "Come on, children, come on." I remember suddenly noticing that her chest had not risen again, and death's pallor was slowly rising. I remember yesterday, my breath and body freezing, forcing my hand to check widow. I remember leaden feet shuffling my way to the car, my body collapsing on the bed at home. Where are my sobs today? Why is a smile quick to turn up the corners of my mouth? How has my sadness been locked away? When will the dam break, flooding my eyes with tears? Only grief knows. It is such a strange experience to have just lost someone, and then it's almost like the mind just can't handle it, and it just locks it all away for a little bit. It's not exactly dissociation. I was grounded in reality, but the emotions, my mind just couldn't handle any more of it for a day. I had to have a break, and so my brain just gave me a break, and I'm grateful for that because I really needed it. And then the following day, I wrote a poem called Another Step. My grief seems to have fled behind walls I wasn't aware of making. Daily life has pressed in, along with the business that comes when a loved one has died. Exhaustion is my only clue that there is more business to be done, the emotional fallout of loss. I'm grateful for this reprieve, knowing it's only the eye of the storm. The worst is yet to come. But even when the worst is over, I know there will be more storms, albeit quieter with less thunder, until the reminders of her passing are just a light spring rain. I'll never forget. I'm irrevocably changed. You don't move on after a loss such as this, but you move forward. Today I took another step forward. It's one day at a time. One of the cards that I received, I still have it. That was 7 years ago and I still have it. My former sister-in-law, she and my brother divorced, but she sent me a card that I still treasure to this day. She reminded me, you only have to go one day at a time. That helped me. And I did take it one day at a time. And a few days later, I wrote a poem called Here Alone. This was on September 4th. I finished the book you liked and sat here wishing I could tell you about it, discuss what I learned, the incredulous story, the writing itself. But you're gone. And you didn't even want to leave. You said yourself, I don't want to die. But bodies are frail, and yours couldn't meet the demands that surgery and illness placed on it. So now I'm left here, alone, wishing I could share this life with you, hoping you're finally safe, finally happy, finally free, and wondering how on earth I will ever find another love as pure, as sweet, as true as yours. I haven't. I don't know if I ever will. I've dated a little bit. Dated one person for 8 months, dated another for 11 months, another for 4 months. I've been single for the last 4.5 years now. Not dating at all. And I'm okay. I have days like this where I remember those moments so clearly. I remember all the emotions as if it was yesterday. And then I have days where I'm living my best life. I'm happy. I'm content. And yeah, sometimes I miss her. And I also know if she had lived, my life would be completely different from what it is now. Don't play the what if game. It's not worth it. Dealing with what is, dealing with reality, is the only way to move forward. It's the only way. It requires courage. It requires building that resilience intentionally. Build it during the good times so that when the hard times happen, it'll be there. Build your support system. Spend time in nature. Have indoor plants, have pets, living things inside your home that you have to take care of other than you. That could be people too. Do things that are fun. At least a couple times a week. Even if it's something small. And that's not doom scrolling. That doesn't count. That's not good for your mental health. Build that resilience while you can. I lost so much of my resilience after she passed away. And I had to work hard to rebuild it. And I still have times where I struggle. I recently talked about how that period of grieving, that was rough. That was really hard. But you know what? That was temporary. And I was okay because I had all my skills. I had learned all of my skills. I had tools. I had people. I'm not alone anymore. And finding those people, whether that's online or in person, but you have to seek it out. You have to take the initiative to find it. You can't wait for people to come to you. It might happen. Somebody might come and find you, but you're more likely to find people if you go looking. So the reason I'm able to look back on these the poems that I wrote and cry and grieve again and still be okay is because I've built resilience. So I guess that's the takeaway. Build your resilience now, and it will get you through the hard times, because that's life. Life happens. Sometimes life is easy, and sometimes life is really hard. It goes in cycles. Hard times don't last forever. Good times don't last forever. That's what the meaning of this too shall pass. That's what it means. It's not just referring to the hard times. It's also referring to the good. So you have to build up your resilience while you can, so that you can make it through the hard times. So take some deep breaths, get some fresh air, get some sunshine if you can. And I hope you have a good day, and I will see you very soon.